Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. Now that you had a look at Kevin tonight, what'd you think?
Well, I was real happy, first of all, to get him back, number one. I thought he gave us a tremendous lift. I really did. Not only the fact that he, made some shots, but I thought he was, he was pretty active defensively. And we try to put a lot of emphasis on our defense, but everybody knows, when he's out on the floor, he's capable of scoring baskets, whether he's inside or out. But it was just really good to have him back. Being able to run some of the things that we ran prior to him getting hurt, he just opens up a lot, especially when he's playing at the 5 against a center who's not used to being on the perimeter, and that's where we keep him a lot. And he responded really well tonight. But really happy to have him back.
David Grenneman, ESPN. Larry, with what Ante Zizic has shown in the 5 or 6 games that he's gotten significant minutes, is it going to cause you and your coaching staff to really consider roles for big men when Tristan Thompson's back in the mix?
Well, certainly what Z has done in the last couple of weeks that he's been playing, he has shown that he deserves to be on the floor. And and getting Tristan back, right now not really knowing how we're going to juggle this thing, but I will say it's a nice problem to have. We haven't had that luxury. But the things that Z does on the floor, he's, first of all, he's big and he's real active around the glass. And, he gets his hands on a lot of balls, and he's a good finisher around the basket. But that's a nice problem to have, because he certainly has shown over the last couple of weeks he deserves to play. So that's something we as a staff, we're going to have to make some decisions on.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Larry, to follow up on that, I don't know the timeline exactly, but maybe about a month ago, Ante got an opportunity and he looked overwhelmed, and I think he played like 4 minutes or something like that, and then you guys pulled him back out. So how do you explain the growth and the steps that he has made in the last couple of weeks to get to the point that we're seeing him now?
Well, certainly he was in a tough situation a month ago, throwing him in and playing him 3 or 4 minutes, and it's hard to get a rhythm, when you're putting a game like that. But what we've asked him to do when we put him in the game, he has done it. Just given what the situation is now, we need him to play, just because we're limited as far as big bodies are concerned, and he's been able to play and get into some sort of a rhythm. The rest of the guys are looking for him when he's rolling to the basket, and as I mentioned before, he's a good finisher around the basket with both hands. So what he's done, he's really taken advantage of an opportunity. And we tell our guys all the time, especially the guys who don't play a lot of minutes, you have to be ready at all times, because you just never know when your number's going to get called. We've been unfortunate, kind of riddled with the injury bug, and he's had to play, and he's responded extremely well.
With Kyle Korver, Ty mentioned on the road trip that the initial plan was to have Rodney Hood in the starting lineup, and it would have seemed like that would have been for Kyle. Given the way that he's played since being a starter and how he plays alongside LeBron in those minutes, do you reconsider that as well, so that you can make sure that you have Kyle and LeBron on the court more?
Well, Coach Lou is the one who makes that decision. That's not my call. We look at a lot of different combinations, whether guys are starting or whether they're coming off the bench, and we assess everything. Some guys are better playing as a starter. Some guys are better coming off the bench. Right now, I think our focus is just to get our entire team back, so that we can see exactly what we have, and we can look at different combinations. With 12 games left, getting TT back soon, getting Rodney Hood back soon, getting Larry Nance Jr. back soon, just getting all of our guys back soon, so that we can really see what we have. But we've looked at different combinations, and we'll assess everything.
Kenny Rhoda, WHBC Radio. The point guard position, you decided to go with Clarkson down the stretch instead of Hill. Is this basically by feel how the player's playing in the game, or how are you guys going to, evaluate the point guard spot?
Well, that's a combination of how the guys playing and feel. I thought with Jordan in there, Jordan, he was in sort of a rhythm. With the other four guys who were in the game, they were meshing together, and that was just strictly feel. It was one of those situations of if it's working, you stay with it. And I just thought Jordan, I thought he was playing well. He was aggressive attacking the basket, and so I just made the decision just to ride with him. George had been sitting over on the bench for a minute, and I wanted to kind of bring him back, but it would have taken a little time to get loose. So I just made the decision, hey, I'll just go ahead and ride with Jordan, and we came out to win.
When you see Giannis in his early 20s putting up 37 and 11 and doing some of that crazy alley-oop he caught, and then you see LeBron 10 years older than him putting up a 40-point triple-double and doing some of the crazy stuff he did, how do you kind of calculate that in your mind? Like what's it like to coach in a game where that's going on?
Well, at times, to be perfectly honest, in watching the growth of Giannis, because remember, I was part of that staff that drafted him, and I'll never forget when I first saw him. I had to take a trip to Europe, to Estonia, to see him, and I'm watching this real thin kid, had no idea. I don't think anybody had any inkling that this kid would turn out the way he did. But just I remember seeing him back then, and just seeing where he has grown to now, and it just leaves me scratching my head a little bit, to be perfectly honest. But when you watch both Giannis and you watch Bron on the floor, I tell you can't. You have to be focused at all times, because Bron is a special player. I mean, as special as probably you'll ever see, and Giannis is he's blooming into that. But watching a game like tonight, sure, fans are going to get their money's worth in watching LB and watching Giannis. But Giannis is he's come a long way. From a physical standpoint, where he's gotten bigger and stronger, and he's grown a little bit more. He's turned into a special player. But we also have a special player over in our locker room as well. And what that guy does, it just never ceases to amaze me.
Marla Riding Hour, Akron Beacon Journal. There in the midway through the third quarter, LeBron looked like he got kind of ticked when 2 threes. He didn't get a call. Do you like it when he gets angry like that?
I do. I like it a lot, because I know the next time he gets the basketball, he's going to drive it right to the basket. And I really couldn't tell whether he got fouled or not, but he said he did. But again, when he's like that, I know the next time he gets that basketball, he's not going to settle for a perimeter shot. He's going to get to the basket, and he's going to put the onus on the official. As far as a call is concerned. But he was really good in attacking the basket tonight. I thought he did a phenomenal job. In getting to the basket, and that forced their defense to suck in a little bit. He found our guys on the perimeter, but overall I thought he just played a fantastic game.
Larry, you've mentioned all this stuff. You mentioned about how all the injured guys are almost back,
right,
and there's only 12 games left. And now is when the Cavs coaching staff needs to figure out who's going to play come playoff time. Right now, Ty's gone. So if these guys come back Wednesday or Friday, who actually makes these decisions?
Well, I'll talk to Ty. We'll talk about it. He's got the final say so, and whatever he wants, then that's what we're gonna go with. But if he tells me to make the decision, then I'll have to make a decision. But we'll talk. We'll talk probably probably tonight. If not tonight, probably tomorrow. But once we do get our full squad back, decisions will have to be made, and as a staff, we'll make them. Yeah.